Now I'd like to introduce our next presenter, Elaine Hatfield-White, who is a person with autism, a trained social eyes facilitator, registered developmental educator and allied health professional, and who currently works as an accessibility advisor for Curtin University, as well as joint program manager of the Curtin Specialist Mentoring Program for students with autism. Elaine is going to be presenting this afternoon on social eyes, autism, social interaction and inclusion in the vet, higher and tertiary education sectors. Welcome, Elaine.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Alicia. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen now and get you to my PowerPoint presentation. Okay, and start with the slideshow from the beginning. Okay, so this is the name of my company, Understanding Social Skills. I'm talking today to you about autism, social interaction and inclusion in the vet and higher education sectors. I'm going to be assisted by other neurodiverse people, both on film and in person, hopefully, if they come later on. Yeah, I'm using the term neurodiverse here because I think this best describes the people in my films and the people that you'll see later. I also will be using the term autism, people with autism. As I have autism myself, that's the term I generally use to describe myself. But I understand that the terms of reference are as diverse as the people themselves and that everyone refers to themselves in their own preferred way. I'd first of all like to start by acknowledging the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, who are the traditional custodians of the land on which my work is conducted and is being shared with you today. I pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. Okay, so the aims of this presentation today. So just three simple ones, I hope. So firstly, to increase the awareness of the difficulties that people with autism experience in education, work, and social settings. As I have autism myself, I've obviously been at work, I'm working now. I've also been a student and I've also taught at university and at TAFE. So I understand from an inside out perspective how autism can affect your interactions with people in educational work and social settings. To bring the Socialise programme to a wider audience, I was trained, as Alicia said earlier, in this programme by the National Autistic Society in London, and many universities I can see and other organisations are still using Socialise. I did my training in 2012. And as far as I know, I'm the only person that's doing it here in Australia. So I wanted to bring it out to the wider audience, to all of you, to tell you what it is and to encourage anybody who would like to think of doing it in their state as well. Thirdly, I want to propose ways of increasing social inclusion for people with autism. You can consider what you can do yourselves in your own institutions, or even do what I did and start up your own organisation to do that yourselves if you feel that there are gaps in the service. And this is the reason that I set up my company, because of the gap in this area of social skills support for people with autism who are going to work, going to university, and the demands that are on those people. Okay, next slide. All right, so I have a question here that you may like to put your answers in the chat. Does that mean that we've got a poll? I think we've got a poll, Alicia, is that right?
Yes, we do, Elaine. The poll's up now for you.
Thank you. Okay, lovely. Thank you very much. Okay, so yeah, have a think about the question. Do autistic people have difficulty with the following? I'm just going to describe the pictures to you here as well. So starting conversation, we have two beanie people shaking hands across a railway line. Taking turns in a conversation, we have somebody talking to a group of people who looks like they've fallen asleep. Handling sensitive topics, we have a cartoon of somebody with a thought bubble that's empty. Ending a conversation, there's a young man trying to talk to somebody who's got his back to him, so he's unable to get his attention. And the last graphic is a cartoon of two eyeballs, one blue and one brown eye, facing each other for using eye contact. So I can see the polls coming up now. Yep. It's looking quite good. Okay, I'm going to let that run for a bit more. Just wanted to say a little bit more about that. Successful social interactions in work and education rely on a degree of proficiency in these areas. And because much of our work and study demands working in groups and knowing the unspoken social rules. If you have limited social exposure and experience, you can feel very excluded and isolated. And if you don't have access to the unspoken rules, it can be really difficult. So let's have a look. Yeah, okay, so it looks like 51% of you have voted. I think probably 97% of you have said taking turns in conversation is one of the most difficult things, as well as ending a conversation. Starting a conversation using eye contact, 94% of you have said those are also very difficult. Sensitive topics, 80%. So yeah, I think we can probably say that all of you agree to some extent that at least one of those areas are difficult. And these are the areas that Socialise deals with. So I'm going to stop sharing results now. And close that, I think. Okay, I have got some links later on in my presentation for different articles for you to have a look at. But I just wanted to draw your attention to the first one that you'll see on my last slide. Sharon Sturgis from the University of Leicester. She discusses working in groups and difficulties and solutions in detail in a recent article this year. So I've placed it in the last page. Okay, so back to Socialise. Thanks ever so much, everyone that's taken part so far. It's really helpful. We're all on the same page by the looks of it. So because I noticed a gap in the area, I started my business, as I said, and I'm registered with the NDIS to work with participants in WA using the Socialise programme. And it's getting so successful that I regularly get referrals from the local Autism Association. So yeah, that's me. I've got a waiting list that shows me that it's working, and people are also word of mouth learning to hear about it. So what is Socialise? Socialise is a social skills development resource developed by people with autism along with leading professionals in London in 2010. It was extensively piloted before then. National Autistic Society started training people in 2010. It doesn't ask people with autism to change their inappropriate social behaviour or copy the typical behaviour of neurotypical people. It provides the option of learning social interaction skills or alternative social strategies. And it uses filmed social scenarios to analyse the unwritten rules of social behaviour. We call it social autopsies, and I think that's quite indicative and very descriptive of what we do. We just pull everything apart. And it facilitates video modelling. So we watch videos, we go on to discuss those videos in minute detail, overanalyse them, and then if people are comfortable, then we might do some role play and I might video them, and then we might then watch that back. And if we're in a group, then we might look at it as a group and start unpicking the areas that we feel really happy with, or areas where we might need to develop a little bit further. So all the films in this I refilmed last year, and they all follow the same sequence. The reason I refilmed them was they're just all on disc. Now I can work offline, or online with people, as I did during the COVID lockdown earlier this year. And all the worksheets are fully online as well. So it's very easy to work with people in remote communities who aren't necessarily in your region. Okay, so these films are all approved by National Autistic Society for me to use here in Australia. And the people that I work with, 83% of the cast and crew were people on the spectrum. So I'm very proud of that. And I'm going to go to my next slide now. No, I'm not. I'm going to go back. And I'm going to go to my film. So just bear with me. I'm going to give you a taste of the film now. It's 14 minutes long. Please bear with it. And I hope you enjoy it as much as we enjoyed making it. Just going to get the film up now, and hopefully showing my new shape. That's what I wanted to do. I'm going to stop it and start it from the beginning, and make the screen bigger. Okay, new share. Okay. Enjoy the film. It does have subtitles, closed captions that you can tell.
When we get together with other people, someone will start a conversation with us or expect us to start a conversation with them. People often enjoy talking to each other as it is a way of sharing ideas and information. There are things we can do to help start a conversation, such as making eye contact with the person or standing near to them. Let's hear from people with autism about their experiences with starting a conversation.
So starting conversations can be quite difficult, particularly with strangers, because you don't really know what to talk about. Because like the problems with starting a conversation, particularly with strangers, is that it's something that is expected of you all the time, and it's just a social norm, and if you can't commit to that, then you can't build relationships and meet new people, and that can be quite hard.
Well, I still have starting a bit of issues starting a conversation. Like it all started like as a kid, not having like no friends talking to at all. It's been pretty hard going into adult years, but I am slowly getting better at it.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It's a bit in between, to be honest. Most of the time I've either already arrived and they're already talking with some people and I just join in with the conversation. That's pretty much it. Unless someone comes up to me and says, "Oh, how you doing?" all this and that, and I say, "Yeah, I'm good, how about you?" But all that stuff, really.
Yes, I have always hated going to social gatherings and meeting new people because I never know how I'm meant to talk to them or like what I'm supposed to say. So I kind of just end up standing there and not really engaged and just feeling a bit out of place.
Discuss your own experiences with starting a conversation. When you are ready, move on to step 2. Sometimes it can be difficult to know what to do or say to start a conversation. Sometimes it can be hard to work out whether a person wants to talk to us or not. People may give us verbal or visual clues to help us work out what they are thinking or feeling. Some visual clues that people give to show they want to start a conversation could be making more eye contact with us or using open body language. Someone may give us a verbal clue by asking us a question to show that they want to start a conversation. Watch the next clip and see if you can pick out the visual and verbal clues that Tom and Sam show us about how they are thinking and feeling.
Sorry, mate. How long have you been in here?
7 minutes.
This is my friend Sam. He's just moved in from town. I'll be back in a sec. I'm just going to grab some drinks, okay? Thanks, man. Nice to meet you, mate. Dan told me a lot about you.
25 million people work in the coffee industry.
Oh, is that right?
75% of coffee is grown on small farms in Latin America, East Asia, and Africa.
Oh, yeah?
950 billion cups of coffee are drunk each year.
So I guess my 20 cups a day is nothing then.
Americans consume half the world's coffee in the world.
There we are.
Yes, you forgot the spoons. Don't worry, I'll get that.
So, how was Tom? He's not very friendly, is he? I mean, he didn't want to talk to me. He just wanted to talk about coffee. I don't know if he doesn't like the look at me or something, but whatever. That is one of your friends I'm not saying any more of.
Yeah, he's all right. He just finds it difficult to start a conversation with someone he doesn't know. Okay?
When Sam greets Tom, he doesn't respond or make eye contact. Sam raises his eyebrows and shrugs his shoulders, showing he is a bit surprised. Then Sam faces Tom and leans towards him, showing that he would like to have a conversation with him. In the silence that follows, Tom does not look at Sam or acknowledge his smile of encouragement because he does not see it. When Tom does begin to speak, it's not about anything that Sam can easily respond to. Sam looks puzzled and looks away for a moment. Tom continues to talk about coffee. Sam gives him more signs that he is not able to join the conversation by looking around, checking his watch, taking out his mobile, but gets no response from Tom. Sam gives up trying to have a conversation with Tom and sits back in his chair, turning away from Tom, looking at his phone and looking annoyed. When Ben returns to the table, Sam smiles at him. Ben asks Sam what he thinks of Tom. Sam explains that Tom gave him the impression he was not wanting to be friendly and does not like him, as he kept talking about a subject Sam knew nothing about. Talk or write about what you saw and about your own experiences with meeting new people. Have a look at the worksheets for this step. When you are ready, move on to step 3. There are social strategies that we can use to support us when starting a conversation. Good visual strategies can include using eye contact, using open body language, smiling at people who are talking to us when appropriate, nodding if we agree with what they are saying. These let other people know that we want to start a conversation with them. Good verbal strategies can be the worm technique to start a conversation. We can say, to show we are listening. Have a look at the next clip and think about what happens when Tom tries some of these strategies.
Unfortunately, I don't think we have got time for the rest of the film. I think I was probably talking too long to start with. But I'm very pleased to say that I'm just going to try and minimise this now. I'm very pleased to say that 2 of my participants that I'm working with at the moment are here, and I'm going to ask them to come in and share their stories with us. Just going to get them, they're in the other room. Just have a look, this is some feedback that other people have given me about working on this resource. Hi, Denise. Would you like to come in? Thank you. Okay. Doesn't look like there's lots of people watching us, but I think there is. Could you move your chair around a bit more, please, so that we can see you? That's wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay, all right, so we've talked about some questions that I'm going to ask you, and you've had some time to think about the questions. So I've been working with you both most of the year?
Most of the year, yes.
Yeah, yeah, most of the year. Okay, in a group setting?
Yes.
Yeah, using the socialised resource. Okay, so I'll start off by asking you, Dilip, how do you feel that attending the sessions has helped you?
It gives me a routine, something to plan into my week and get me out of my room, get me interacting with people in a relatively safe place. Just trying to open up networking again.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've tried to go back and interact socially.
Yeah. And you're thinking of coming back to university to study? Yeah. So has it made you feel a bit more confident?
Yes, and talking with you, you're working at Curtin, so at least I'll have someone at Curtin should I come to Curtin.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm just looking at Curtin, come back and do a postgraduate degree. While I was doing engineering, I did engineering.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about going back and doing a postgrad. So at least it's contact with people that I can interact with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Thank you. Thanks, Dilip. And I'll go to you now. So come to the sessions, you also have a mentor here, part of the specialist mentoring programme at Curtin. What is the difference between what we do and what you get from your mentor and your speech therapist?
I kind of feel it's what we do, what I've done with Lane has been kind of in addition to what I've learned with speech therapy and my mentor, in that a lot of things I've learned have been kind of the practical aspects of social interaction and communication, whereas with the speech therapist, it's been more along the lines of like trying to gauge emotions in people and like the emotional aspects of communication. And yeah, it's kind of been helping, having those two different things, but then working together have been a big help.
Thank you.
5 minutes to go, Elaine.
Okay, thank you very much. I think a lot of people that come and work with me in the programme, and I'm not sure if this applies to you guys as well, have had lots of therapy and they've really therapied out. The comment on the slide that you can see is, if I can just share my screen again, there. Somebody actually said that the environment improves communication and reduces threshold fear. What he meant by that was that going to a psychologist or a hospital setting or any clinical setting can induce a lot of anxiety about how you're going to perform, etc. Whereas our setting is much more informal And do you feel that it feels like therapy?
No.
No, doesn't. I don't feel like it does either. Even though, strangely, I come under therapeutic support through the NDIS in the category. But yes, there we are. Okay, so yeah, feedback from parents is always really good, positive feedback as well. And if anybody would like to ask me more, I'm very happy to take more questions, etc. on email. I'm sure you can get my email from the people that organise Pathways. Yeah, just looking at some active recruiters of people with autism, Bankwest, BHP, who I think you're possibly going to an internship. Lyle's got an internship interview in a couple of weeks. Yeah, so they regularly give people with neurodiversity the opportunity of internships there. Auticon, UK Government, Procter & Gamble, GlaxoSmithKline, SAP, Passwork, Experian, Allianz Insurance and Woodside have also recently advertised their internships for people on the autism spectrum. So just wrapping up, what can we as practitioners do? We can provide and promote orientation from secondary or home education to the vet, TAFE and university sectors. Provide programs that facilitate understanding and maintenance of social skills, such as Socialise, but also such as a mentoring program that we have here at Curtin. You'll hear more about that later in the conference. I think Debbie is going to be running a panel and my colleague Jasmine McDonald will be on that. What else can we do? Autism awareness training, as Thomas Tobin was talking about earlier, you know, universal design. If you start autism awareness training in your establishment, then you are giving people the tools, the lecturers, the academics, the tools in which to apply universal design and make life more inclusive for people with autism. Also, we can advertise links with industry and internships through the Australian National Disability Organisation that frequently have internships twice a year. Okay, just wrapping up then, I think we're probably out of time. There's some links for you to follow. I'm sure you probably can get a copy of this. And I don't have to read out the links, do I, Alicia?
No, Elaine, you don't need to read out the links. Your presentation will be available on the Attend website after the conference.
All right, thank you. Well, thanks very much. Have we got any time left for any questions? Probably not.
Well, actually, we have 1 minute left, Elaine, and we did have one question come through the chat box.
Okay.
Quite a few people really keen to know what the worm technique described in the video is.
Whether
occupation, recreation.
What's on the media?
Media, yes, yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, so it stands for weather, so it's a conversation starter, so mentioning something about the weather, it's small talk really. Something about your job, or asking somebody about their job, what do they do to relax, and what sort of media do they listen to or watch. So yeah, it's just an easy way to remember conversation starters.
Also what's on the news?
What's
on the news?
Yeah, what's on in the news, yeah.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Thank you, Elaine, to you and your co-presenters, and congratulations on the internship. That's excellent news.